Hi, I'm Andrew McGill of the Master Chorus and Orchestra. Today we're talking about why Handel abandoned opera and began to write oratorio in the 1740s. The answer to this question is essentially financial rather than artistic. During this time period, the box office revenues for Handel's opera company dipped precipitously. This was due to several reasons. One was a declining interest in Italian opera. This is the time period when English opera began to take hold in things like The Beggar's Opera. It also had to do with the emergence of a new opera company in town, led by Handel's rival Bononcini. Because of this rival opera company, costs for presenting an opera rose dramatically. The two companies outbid each other for singers and for sets and for costumes, and the audience came to expect more and more lavish and innovative stagings to set the opera company apart from its rival. At the same time, with the decline in interest in the opera, box office no longer covered the expenses of the productions, and Handel found himself needing to provide himself and his company with a lower cost alternative, and oratorio was the answer. Oratorio is much less expensive than opera because he could hire English singers rather than Italian divas, and as today, the English singers were much less expensive and much less temperamental. He also didn't need to hire sets or costumes. The performances took less rehearsal time because they didn't need to be memorized. And the fact that they were in English meant that there was an increasing popularity for the growing middle class that became the central part of his audience. A second question for today is, what is oratorio and how is it different than opera? Both opera and oratorio are settings of dramatic stories set to music. And they share a musical style: recitative, aria, chorus, and orchestral movements. The difference is partly that oratorio is based on a sacred subject, usually biblical, although sometimes a story from the life of a saint. And the second difference is that oratorio is unstaged. So while opera called for sets and costumes and expensive and fabulous stage machinery, oratorio was presented in concert, as we're used to seeing Messiah today. Next time we meet, we'll answer questions about why Handel chose the idea of Messiah for his oratorio project in the 1740s, who wrote the text, and how the text is structured.